want to move closer on? Now who want to move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, single on 'em, never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world.
What's up, everybody? This is Ted Karras for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cincy Hat, and you're watching Bengals and Brews.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I am Dell Altman, joined by my co-host Pork Chop, my co-host the Big Savage Greg, and special guest from The Athletic, from the Growler Podcast, Paul Dehner Jr. How are you, sir?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Pretty good. It's Friday.
It's a hot day Friday.
It's
Friday,
a
got a
day.
Cold Miller Lite. Like, come on.
I mean, it's Bachfest weekend in Cincinnati. It's 80 degrees outside. Let's soak up spring for one day. You know what I mean? Until it like goes away for a little bit. But for today, it's a good day, boys.
Absolutely.
I love it. We got free agency right around the corner. Tampering period starts on Monday this week. So very busy time for you, obviously, coming up. But Cam Curl signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. We'll start there with the safeties. Do you think that helped, hurt, or doesn't affect the Bengals being in on potentially the free agent market at safety? Do you see maybe a draft pick more so than a free agent, or you feel like all options are open heading into Monday at that position of safety?
I thought that was a good number for Cam Curl. I didn't think it was, anything crazy. What you worry about with some of the early deals is that they're foreshadowing something bigger, right? Like, oh, this is going to be a year where we see this position sees a big jump. And we've seen that in past years in certain spots. Last year, a bunch of safeties just sat around and didn't get signed. And so you're wondering how much of that's going to happen. It can suppress the market. I don't think 12 is a crazy number for somebody like Cam Curl. To me, this suggests when you consider how many safeties that are more than serviceable, some that would be great fits, some that would be really good, and almost all that would be improvements over Geno Stone. Like when you're looking at that group that's available, I think you can see them. They're going to be involved there. I mean, they're going to sign some kind of a free agent safety. If they don't, we won't be shutting up about it. That's for sure. And it doesn't preclude them from drafting anybody, including Caleb Downs, if he's there. Like you're all in on trying to improve that group, no matter who it is. And they've got multiple spots to fill there.
Could you see a guy, and I know just who might be interested. This is not any inside information we're asking you to give or anything, but some local ties with guys like Kobe Bryant, Brian Cook. Probably Brian Cook's going to be the next top market guy beyond Cam Curl there that got paid today. Or do you think maybe they go with a veteran guy that's been there and done that, Kevin Byard? And then you got like a young guy like Nick Cross that's only 24, Indianapolis, maybe hasn't even reached near his ceiling yet as a player at safety. Any of those names jump out, or anybody else? There's a whole bunch of guys: Brisker, Reed Blankenship, Jalen Hawkins, Loie Gilman. Like there's quite a few safeties.
Yeah, you're talking about it. I mean, I think the depth that you're using here is kind of proven the point. I think there's a bunch that they'd be happy with. Jalen Thompson is one that's been at the top of my list from Arizona. If you look at the profile of guys that they have brought in the past, he certainly fits that. I don't think he would be, the top of the market, but he's a really solid player that can come in and play a little bit more post safety. I mean, those guys are going to do a little bit of everything. I think Cook feels. I don't see them being a big splurge here team outside of one person, and that's Minkah. Like if Minkah were to become available, I think they'd have interest. I think they would be curious what that lands at. He's kind of like the year of Orlando Brown, when Orlando Brown was available and then his number was lower than they anticipated. And you're like, well, Orlando Brown sure seems like he could fit here. Like, I think you could see something like that with Minkah. Outside of that, though, they're not all of a sudden going to be a team that thinks they should be spending big money on safety. So I think that they're going to look at a reasonable deal, your standard 3 years, 24. I think we just call that the Bengal now. It's just the mid-tier 3 years, 24 million with like, 10 guaranteed is kind of been where they've lived. You can find about 5 or 6 safeties that would all be pretty solid in that range. Thompson has stood out to me just because I think he's a profile fit.
I like that. Rashawn Gary maybe getting released, maybe not. There's obviously the connection with Jerry Montgomery.
Yeah.
Do you think the Bengals would have any interest there? I don't think with the contract he has, they're looking to trade, even if it's a late round pick swap. It would probably have to be if he hits the open market and the money is right. Or do they even go? I imagine he's still going to get paid even after a down year.
Yeah, he's still a solid player. Like I think there's questions about if he's ever going to be the guy he was for that 2-3 year run there that he was kind of wrecking shop. But I mean, Green Bay decided that they needed to sell the farm to bring in Micah Parsons because Rashawn Gary wasn't that dude anymore. And the fact that, he's still a good player, but he's not worth what he is currently making in Green Bay. That's why the thought has been that he would either be moved or released. And this is something that I know our guy in Green Bay, Matt Schneidman, has been on for over a month now, and we've been kind of discussing the concept of him. I think the question to me is, where does his number land? Like, is he below Boye Mafe? Is he below is he in between him and like Draymond Jones? Like where does Rashawn Gary's number end up? Is he a 15? Is he a 10? Is he a 20? Like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of uncertain how he'll be viewed. But we do know the Bengals love connections, and we do know that he had some of his best years under Jerry Montgomery. And so it would absolutely make sense that the Bengals would have interest in Rashawn Gary. I don't see them viewing him as like a let's extend ourselves into an uncomfortable number type of player, but I think there's definitely going to be interest there.
Now, you mentioned Draymond. Sorry, Chop.
I was just going to ask if he sacked Joe Burrow, because that'll give him a leg up to get.
It's all you need, right? You just got to have a good game against the Bengals one time.
That's
and
right,
you're
man.
and you're
Sack
golden.
Joe Burrow, get a job.
That's right.
Which is what I was going to mention with Draymond Jones. Played pretty well against the Bengals.
Yes.
You mentioned him. Could you see a guy like Draymond Jones? He has that inside-outside versatility, the Ohio State connection with Burrow dating back. There's some obvious connections there. Could you see a Draymond Jones? John Franklin Myers, I think if you're talking D-tackle, is kind of the prize there, but I think probably going to be out of the Bengals price range. Anybody else maybe in that D-tackle / tweener edge that you can kick inside like a Draymond Jones?
I'm glad you guys got the memo that I have to talk about Draymond Jones on every podcast appearance that I have. It's pretty much where I've been for a while. The reason I keep talking about him is because what you mentioned, the hybrid player, is the perfect fit for the current situation of, one, not wanting to take snaps away from Shamar Stewart or be able to play off of Shamar Stewart's versatility and kind of hedge your bet on him a little bit and give him time. Like you don't know if you're going to want to, you don't necessarily going to want Shamar Stewart playing 80% of the snaps. Like, we don't know if he's capable of doing that yet. He does have versatility. You want somebody that has versatility. On the other side of that, you need more pass rush juice on the inside. You have a market where it's going to be really hard to find that. So you have to kind of use versatility as a weapon there. And Draymond has come from all angles and in creating pressure in his career. And I think you can say the same for JFM. Now, I think JFM's the more expensive version of that, but he's kind of done a little bit of inside outside in his career as well. And so I think either of those guys make sense, but JFM is definitely going to be the more expensive of the two. I think Draymond has been on the top of my list and on my radar for a while now. I would date back to last year when the idea of trading Trey Hendrickson was sort of one that I was kind of out there pushing. The idea of someone like a Draymond Jones and a couple other smaller pieces filling in more of an aggregate approach was always where that started. And it never came to fruition. But here he is again after a really good year. And he did play well against the Bengals. And I think he's just as valuable now on a 2 to 3 year, $30 to $36 million deal. And boy, that feels like a very sensible, reasonable way to add to you're going to get something. He's going to be a plus to your room in whatever way you need it.
Yeah, and I'll get one more free agency question, and then Greg, you can jump in with whatever, whether it's extensions or stuff like that. The Bengals went out of their way to praise these young linebackers that they drafted last year. I think there's some intriguing free agents, though. You've heard Devin Lloyd. I think that's a top. That would be a big splash if they make it. I can already see you're shaking your head. No, probably not that one. Devin Bush, Leo Chanel, Nakobe Dean. And then you got your veterans like Bobby Wagner, Demario Davis, who the Bengals linebacker coach came from the Saints. So maybe there's a connection there. What level do you see them playing at with linebackers? Will they bring in one at all because of these young guys? Will they go maybe a tier 4 guy that we're not even talking about?
They are definitely bringing in a linebacker, at least one. I mean, there's no way. The one thing that's gotten, of course, they're going to praise the young linebackers, and they've praised Demetrius more than Barrett, and I think you can read something into that. But they were very clearly drawing out what they're looking for. They want this combo linebacker. They want the guy that can bring something off the edge, be good against the run and blitz, and drop down on the edge, so that for the love of God, we don't have to watch Demetrius Knight try to do that anymore. That's not who he is. He never should have been doing that in the first place, getting just absolutely trucked trying to set an edge. That's not his game. They want to move him back into more of a regular role off the ball and have somebody who can do it all. Leo Chanel is the number one most realistic target on the Bengals board right now. He makes the most sense. He fits their profile. He was sort of not getting enough snaps in terms of being just kind of behind other people in Kansas City, but did really well. And everything that he did, they loved him there. He's a team guy, and he can really bring it as a guy coming off the edge there. He is the one. If you were going to give me a bet on one guy that I could pick that the Bengals will sign, I would start with him because he just makes so much sense. And it was like they were, the other day we were talking to him, it was like they were describing him. It was like they were just saying, without saying his name, they were describing him and his skill set to a T. Him, Caden Ellis would be another name who's a very similar type of player, a blitzing linebacker who can come and bring you a lot off the edge. Who brings you a little bit more leadership. He was the captain last year in Atlanta. They're looking for leadership, and they're not hiding that. They want leadership. They got a bunch of young pups that were a little lost in the desert last year, and they need leadership at every level. That's why I keep open a Demario Davis. And wouldn't that, why not? Why not go Chanel and Davis and double up and let the young kids fill in wherever they can fill in and get leadership and versatility in 2 other pieces and figure it out from there. I wouldn't rule that out. It's unlikely they would sign 2 at a high level, but I could see signing one of those 2 and then a second guy at a lower level filling in amidst Carter and Knight.
Paul, one free agent. I don't think this is going to happen, but man, Khalil Mack. I mean, why not? He's still playing at a high level. Give me Khalil Mack on a 1-year deal. Give me that Dwight Freeney player that just comes in on third down just to sack the quarterback. I mean, do you see that happening, or is that just a dream?
No, I don't think they would go that way. I just think they're much more interested in finding the ascending player than the holding on for one last year player. That's just by the nature of who they are and who they like to invest in, and honestly, the success that they've had. I think they want to try to find the next Trey Hendrickson here, and they feel like they have done that and been able to target that in the past. They did it, and we've glossed over this, but the Shaq Barrett situation that happened, they pinpointed Shaq Barrett before his breakout. They saw it. They were going to sign him, and the doctors came in and were like, I don't know. I think his shoulders are weird. And next thing you know, he has a gazillion sacks in Tampa. They did the same thing. They spotted Trey Hendrickson. They saw the ascending player. They were willing to bet on it early. They made it happen. I think they feel like there's guys that look like that in this year's free agent class, whether we're talking about Mafe, he's going to get paid pretty decent, but I think that's a splurge you could see them making. I don't think they'll go all the way up to what Owe is going to get, but he's one. Arnold Ebiketie is one that I have really loved. He's got great analytics. He kind of got buried by 2 first-rounders last year. And Duke was talking about this last week. This last week. He was like, look, I think when you're looking for who those guys are, you're talking about guys that have been buried behind somebody for some reason, still have an athletic trait skill set that you want, that maybe the change of scenery really brings it out of him. We've seen that not just at edge, but also guys like Cheeto, Mike Hilton, where they've come and been given a bigger plate to eat off of and done really well with it. I think those are a couple of guys that certainly stand out to me. I wouldn't see them going for the hang on for one more year guy. That would be very, very out of character. I don't think they would do that.
So you gave us a good list of edge free agent guys there. So that'll kind of a question I had down. What are your thoughts on Osai coming back? The likelihood of that, is that going to be a guy they target and try to get done even before free agency starts?
No, I don't think so. I think Joe's probably going to move on. Now, I would have told you, I would have sworn to you, Jermaine Pratt's not going to re-sign here. Joseph Osai is not going to sign back here last year. I wouldn't have thought that they would have brought BJ Hill back, and they get in there and you get in the mix and some things fall a certain way. Next thing you know, there you are with those guys. And so I'm not shutting the door totally to Joseph Osai being a guy that they bring back. I don't see it. But things happen in free agency. So I'm not going to say totally no, but I think they're just trying to go a different direction at this point.
And then the last one I had, and Chop, I know you're over there, maybe falling asleep, so I'll let you get a question in next before Paul's got to go.
I'm sorry, I'll spice it up.
I just had a lot of questions. I knew we had 20 minutes, so I've been trying to hammer as much free agency as we could while we had you, which I appreciate your time so much. Do you think Dax and DJ will turn into another either or like we had with Leon Hall and Jonathan Joseph at corner, or are they going to try to actively get those guys signed? Or is that something they're just going to wait another year and see how things go this season?
I think they'd like to get it done with Dax and DJ. That's not going to be soon. That's going to be something that's going to the same time they always do these things, go into August in that time frame. Now, I don't know how many people recognize this, but they have the same agent. So you're going to be dealing with DJ and Dax together probably in some capacity. Now, I don't know if it's a contract Thunderdome situation where two men enter, one man leaves, and then the other one ends up a free agent or tagged. But I don't think that having the same agent helps them to battle against that. Let's just hope, guys, that we're not sitting here talking about a double cornerback holdout in August. No one wants that. No one wants to think about that. But that is going to be, a possibility if they can't, find ways to make headway on these extensions with these guys. And if it were to go sideways, not that we've ever seen that happen before in these negotiations, you have both these guys with the same agent. They've got some leverage there that way.
Yeah, have faith in our front office, Paul, for love of
God.
Yeah.
I'll have faith in them as soon as they give me some reason to.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what I'm saying. Like Duke Tobin has told us that every year they're all in. Can you tell me what my expectation should be as all in? Like last year, we went all in and got TJ Sleeton and Oren Burks. I understand that. And so my expectations are equally as high this year. Should I simmer down a little bit, or what do you think's realistic this free agency with the Bengals?
I think they're going to be aggressive. I think last year they spent on their guys. Last year they were fully focused on Jamar and T and Mike Gesicki, and they brought back BJ Hill, and they were internal. I think there's a recognition that they ain't really got anything internal to do right now. Like it's time to go outside to pay. This is one of those years. And I think they've made that clear. I think they're going to. I think it's going to be aggressive. I think you're going to get a starter at every level of the defense. And that's what it's going to look like. I don't know if the difference to me is, will there be a splash player at the top? So if you go back and look at 2020 through 22, they had very similar approaches to what they've been talking about doing now. And it's had one player in the top 20, another player probably in your like 20 to 50 range, and then 2 to 3 that fill out your probably 75 to 125 type of free agent, those lower tier guys. The question to me is, will there be one of those top guys this year? Will there be, an edge rusher like the ones that we've talked about that are probably going to get paid in the top 10 or 20? They've done that before many times. And now Reeder was like that. Hendrickson was like that. These were guys from the top 10, top 15 of their free agent class. They might go there. I'm just curious if they do that, or if they almost totally hang out in that mid-tier range. I think there'll be one splash player if I was having to guess today, and then the rest will be more of that mid to bottom. And that's what they need. They need players that can come in and raise the floor. The floor was bottoming out at multiple positions last year. They need to raise the floor to starter level play. And then inevitably all your young guys, your draft picks from this year, from recent years, are going to have to control your ceiling. Those guys getting better are going to be what makes you a really great defense or maybe just an average defense.
Yeah.
But you need to sign the starters now at every level so that you can play at an average level to start with.
All right.
Who's
And
your
Paul, I was just going to, I know Paul's got to get
I'm good. Let's go 10 more minutes.
Who's your big
you guys have 10 more
guy?
minutes stuff? Let's go to 4. Let's do it. I'm
when
hot.
you say-
I'm rolling.
When you say one big splash guy they might do, who your dream guy, your dream big splash guy?
Well, it depends if we're dealing. I mean, probably JFM for the fact that I think he adds to them a thing that you just can't find anywhere else. Yeah. And I like BJ Hill and TJ Slayton and Chris Jenkins a lot better, knocked down one step on the depth chart.
Yeah.
And with JFM as a part of that, creating things for other guys. And it's a lot easier, I think, to find value in free agency at edge and a lot easier to find an edge in the draft. I mean, But imagine Ruben Bain, Shamar Stewart, JFM, Slayton, Hill, and Murphy, and that combination. But I can't tell you another guy that you can find in the draft. Peter Woods, I don't know that he's an immediate impact guy. If they take him, they're going to have to ask him to be if he was the draft pick guy. Franklin Myers is really the only guy. He's going to come in. He's going to be a plus for you from the 3 technique and give you a little versatility that you're just not finding that as easily anywhere else. So for that fact, and he's going to be more expensive than you're comfortable with. He just is. I'm telling you that right now. He's going to get overpaid. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. He's just positioned himself perfectly in the market. So because it's so hard to find that, because they've needed it for so long, I would like to see that just to then build around that.
I'm with you. That's my guy too. I'll go a tier below if you can get that guy because there's not many guys that can. I think 7.5 sacks last year. There's not many guys giving you that can play on the inside that ever hit the free agent market. So that's why he's high up on that list. Will they look to upgrade at slot wide receiver this year? And probably maybe not in free agency, but maybe so. You're seeing some guys getting released, some things happening at that position. Or in the draft, I know it breaks Greg's heart because he is an Andre Yosevich lover. I assume they're still high on him, but he doesn't have that quick get off, and maybe you could upgrade the return game at the same time.
Greg, I'm just looking to see if you have the Yosevich billboard on that wall behind you somewhere, like a picture of it, of him with the apron and no shirt underneath it, holding the mustard. Yeah.
Okay. I have. It's a long story, Chop. I have a candle.
It's not. You love Andre Yosevich.
I like Yoshi, man.
Where's the candle? Where's the candle?
It's in my car somewhere.
He's got a candle of
Got
Andre
a candle?
Yosevich.
Wow, the Yoshi candle. Those are hard to find.
With Yoshi.
I think you can only find that at like a Weber's mustard.
No, at the Chop
warehouse.
Shop, one of our sponsors right here,
Yeah.
Pork Chop's site, the Chop Shop.
That's
.myshopify.com is where
go.
you can get your Yosevich candle.
Also,
I love
Midwest Best Barbecue, proud sponsor of the show. Also,
There you go. All right, Midwest. I like that. That's good. Yes is the answer. I think they want to add competition there. Those were the words of Duke Tobin and I think of Dan Pitcher, the idea of competition at that spot. Now Mike G is that spot. Yoshi is that spot. I think in my mind, I don't see that being a veteran ad. To me, that is a draft pick. That is drafting the next Yoshi. That is a day 3 pick in a deep wide receiver draft. I think from the time you get to round 4, I think it's all in play, and you hope to hit one there and develop something. I don't see them doing some sort of a veteran push of Yoshi, though. That I could be wrong on that, and that would probably be a one of those, the market clears the third wave rubble and you're like, oh, look who's still here and who's affordable and would like to come play with Joe Burrow. And maybe you do that. But I just think with specifically how Mike G helps you in that same spot as well, I think that's more of a draft pick that they feel like they could find a gem and develop.
Yeah, we'll stick with offense here. What tight end are they going to draft? Are they going to add tight end in free agency?
I think it's a kind of an under the radar need, but it certainly wasn't the most glowing endorsement of Eric All's health that we got at the combine. There was no bad words said, but it wasn't like, oh man, we're excited. I think you have to be that way though with Eric All. Like, I don't know that you can count on the guy coming off the double ACL thing to definitely be around all year. Now, that said, they have Hudson, they have Sample, they have Gesicki. I mean, they have a pretty full room. There's room to add one more. So it's possible, certainly. The Noah Fant rotation, we've seen all these types of guys, but I think they like what the top of it looks like right now. So I would look more to the draft there before I would look to free agency. But, that's another one of those third wave finds that they've, maybe even in August find like Noah Fant was.
I feel like it's very fitting to end with a run, pass, or boot question for
there we go.
Dehner Jr.
Let's go.
So run, pass, or boot for a backup quarterback. Joe Flacco is back. Another outside veteran free agent, whoever that may be. That's everybody in that tier, or a draft pick. Run, pass, or boot. Who do you think on those three options?
I'll run another outside free agent. I will boot Flacco. I don't know. I might have to boot Flacco and the draft. The draft is not great to pick up a quarterback. And so maybe I'll put Flacco a notch above him. If Flacco gets out there, no one wants him as his bridge. Maybe he comes back. I just don't see that. I had an idea though. And I think we could revolutionize the NFL with a dash of Premier League for my soccer people out there. The Bengals sign Flacco, but they loan him to the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's on retainer. He just goes, and you guys can have Flacco to play with Mendoza sitting until we need him. Is that what you say? And so you're kind of split the price on him, and you can have him unless Burrow gets hurt at some point. Then you got to give us Flacco back.
Yeah,
you
right.
can keep him until then. I don't see who loses here.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't see who loses here except for the Raiders if they're like, we don't want to give him up now. But yeah, to me, that's a strategy. A two-team Flacco share. That's what they need.
There you go.
That would be perfect. All right, Paul. Well, plug some of your stuff. I don't know how much of this is out there, but I want to thank you for what you're going to announce potentially in the future with Project Game Day, something all three of us are co-founders of, with 4, 5, 6 other guys. There's a bunch of us.
Yeah.
I don't want to name everybody. But
thank you guys, first of all, for everything you guys do with Project Game Day. It's such an awesome deal. I love what you guys do, and we're going to try to support any way we can. We're going to be giving some tickets for people to come to the event, the watch party on that Friday. I'm excited about that. We'll be talking about that. We have our free agent shows. We're going live every night next week. It's going to be me, Jay, Charlie, Mo, Mark. We're going to have people dropping in left and right to offer up analysis of everything that happens every day. We did this last year, and we ended up hanging out talking about Charlie's, lack of real silverware in his house, and because we were all bored to tears. Trying to think of ways we could make him chug a beer because we just had nothing to do. I don't think that will be the case this year. There's going to be a lot more going on, but we're going to be live 8 to 9 on our YouTube channel Monday through Thursday next week, and excited about doing all that, just kind of going through everything from the day. So, and I'm really excited about, we're going to be involved. I know we're giving away a growler package to Project Game Day that's going to be full of all kinds of cool stuff, both from our sponsors, our friends at Graders. I think we're going to have somebody be able to come do a segment on our show with us. If you want to be a part of our show at some point as part of that package, we get a lot of fun stuff, and I'm just excited. And I think you guys need to pressure DJ Turner into signing his deal while he's at your guys' event.
Right, that would be perfect.
Yeah. He could do it live at the event.
I mean, who would ever miss that again? And everyone would want to know, who are you going to have on next year to sign? Because you set a precedent. Let's do it.
Exactly.
All right, Paul. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck next week with everything. Hopefully, you have plenty to talk about on the podcast and not just Charlie's silverware.
I hope so too. All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Good day. Good day.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad he could give us 30 because we were rolling. We had a lot of questions, and it was fantastic. So appreciate Paul Dehner. Obviously, check out the Growler podcast. Check out The Athletic. I subscribe to The Athletic. It's well worth it just for Paul alone.
Right.
And then you get, draft season. You got Dane Brugler. Like, give me Paul Dehner Jr., Dane Brugler. It's well worth it to have The Athletic just for those two
right
people.
there.
Yeah. We are going to look at free agents. Let's go to quarterbacks, Chop. Let's go, because you can go up to filter and you can look at positions.
Say corners or quarters?
Hey, I'll be back, guys. I got to blow my nose.
Quarterback.
Be right back.
There you go. Let's get Malik Willis for our backup.
Right. Malik Willis probably going to get a big payday. Somebody's going to give him an opportunity. Projected contract here, 2 years, $20 million. I have no clue where he'll end up, but this is the guy who's still 26, 27, get ready to turn 27. They're hard to find. He's came in, looked good for Green Bay, really kind of helped his career out these last couple of years when he's had to come in for Jordan Love. And speaking of Green Bay quarterbacks, got Aaron Rodgers below that. We're talking Bengals backup quarterbacks, so we might as well keep scrolling. We're not going to take forever on a lot of these guys.
I do think that Malik Willis has got a good possibility to end up north. I mean, they're restructuring Deshaun. He's the kind of the kind of quarterback that coach likes.
You think he could be a Cleveland Brown, huh?
I think he could.
That's interesting. I know they have Gabriel Sanders. It's not really a draft. Maybe they kick it down the road, but I think somebody's going to sign Willis for like a 3-4 year deal. I don't know if the Browns want to do that. That's the only reason I could see that. Like if he'd signed for 1 year, they'd love it because then they could. If it doesn't work out, they're back in the market and what should be a good quarterback class next year.
I mean,
Russell Wilson.
This is our backup spot right here, starting with Russ down.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, he's probably going to get paid by. He's probably going to stay in Indy.
I think he got franchise tagged.
Oh,
they didn't tag the wide receiver. They tagged Jones, I believe. So he is back. Probably their starter. Russ, I don't know. Could he be in play? Would you sign Russ? It says 37 years old there.
No, I might. With Russ Wilson at this point, you might as well just have Jake Browning back.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, honestly. I know he's ranked 66. Ranked 66 on their rankings. I don't see that. I'd rather have Mariota. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. So who else we got? I wouldn't also Tyler Huntley. I would have over Russ.
Well, he just never does anything till he goes to the Ravens. Then he finds a way to win them some games. Right. It's just kind of incredible. It's got projected contract 1 year, $1.35 million. So maybe, right? Maybe they would be interested in that. A Tyrod Taylor, I wouldn't hate that. I mean, I know he's 36 and a half, it says there, but.
Ooh. Hey, Tyrod Taylor's beaten us plenty of times, Dale. Why not?
Tiny hands, Kenny Pickett. Is he just making the tour, of all 32 teams before his career is over?
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't want Kenny
He's made
Pickett.
more money than I will.
Could you see the Bengals being interested in him? 27 years old.
Nah.
No. Jimmy Garoppolo, 34, 1 year, $3 million projection here.
I'd do that.
Maybe, right? If you strike out on Flacco, Gardner Minshew.
Minshew Mania. Awesome.
I like Minshew.
I like Minshew Mania, Dale. I like the idea of Minshew Mania.
Sam Howell, you're still looking at a guy that's 25 years old. Maybe that would be like a low-key backup quarterback signing.
Well, Dale, no. Interesting fact, I think Sam Howell, the other one was Drew Lock, I think were in consideration for the Bengals before they traded for Flacco. I think Howell was one of those two other guys. So that's a name to keep an eye on.
All right, let's just – so we did that. What other positions – any other positions on offense you want to look at, Greg?
Tight end. Did we look at tight end or –
We've only looked at the quarterbacks.
Let's take a tight end. Here's my guy, Dale, Cade Otton.
Yeah. So Kyle Pitts, he got franchise tagged, so some of this isn't updated. Dallas Goedert, I imagine he's back with Philly or retiring. I don't know, but if he was on the market, I think everybody'd be interested in a Dallas Goedert still producing.
Oh, Dale, Taylor Swift. Come on, let's get Taylor Swift and Bengals here, Dale.
No, I can't see Travis Kelce, obviously. He's going to retire or be a Chief. Isaiah Likely, 25, just getting ready to turn 26. It's got $10 million a year. I can't see the Bengals being in that market. That would be an interesting signing. I can't see it. But how about Njoku?
Yep. I'd be in on Njoku. How's he as a blocker?
I feel like he's really improved there. I mean, you have to look at the grades probably because it's not like I watch his blocking tape at any point. But maybe, right? But probably not at 11 million, 3 years, 11 million. I can't.
No,
I would love to have Njoku. No, Chop, you and I had that conversation. Njoku would be awesome to have.
All right. I'm going to pop Dustin in here.
All right.
What's up?
What's up, brother? We looked at quarterbacks. There's not a lot on this PFF list. And now we're on tight ends, just kind of going through a little offense before we get into the main course, which is defensive free agency.
Right.
Oh, I think I like that we started with offense because I actually think we should add pieces on offense in free agency. You know, I think swing tackle, tight end. I'm glad that we're doing this.
But Kai Becton would be interesting. Let's wait.
We're in the tight ends right now.
Well, the Mekhi Becton was an interesting one because how many of us loved him, and then he kind of signs a big contract and reverts to his old self.
Yeah.
But that does go show when you have good offensive linemen around you, like he did in Philly, it's going to make you look a lot better. So but yeah.
But any thoughts on maybe like a Charlie Kohler? Like I think I don't see them adding a tight end in free agency. As Paul kind of mentioned, they have the Tanner Hudsons. Like if they're looking for a Charlie Kohler, they already re-signed Tanner Hudson. They have Drew Sample under contract. Eric Gall is still on this team. They have Mike Gesicki still under contract. Like the room is fairly full. Who's the other guy they have? That's been kind of a practice squad guy, but got called up last year.
I know who you're talking about, Dale. Kohler.
McLaughlin.
Oh, what the blocker?
Cam Grandy.
Cam Grandy. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, so maybe if the value's just there on day 3 in the draft, I see that more than a free agent. But is there anybody in this free agent list, Dustin? Chop, you can scroll down a little bit.
Cade Otton, I don't know. I just don't think so.
He's still projected to get 11 million a year here. Yeah. I don't know why he's so low on their list.
Yeah,
if they project that.
Yeah, so I kind of have like a sneaky suspicion. Like, listen, I think we can agree that like tight end is a position of like maybe need to a certain extent. But I just kind of feel like the first wave of free agency probably not going to hit there. And then I also think like in the draft, I just don't know if they are going to like invest a pick on a tight end this year. I can kind of see like waiting towards training camp, that whole cut down time, the middle of the summer when guys come available. Like they added Noah Fant late last year. So I just don't see tight end being something that I would like for them to maybe take a swing on a tight end in the draft. I just don't see it. You know what I mean?
Well, Dale, I don't know if you saw that Notre Dame tight end you were hyping up a little bit.
Eli Raridan.
Yeah, Bengals were visiting with him. I think I sent you that.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's there on day 3, that's the guy I would take a swing on. He's a pretty good blocker. Very productive as a receiver this year. I think his best football's ahead of him. He just dealt with injuries at Notre Dame. That's really the only thing that kept him. So do you take another guy that's been injured? There's no Fant, your guy.
Yeah.
But move on to some other offensive positions that you guys want to look at beyond quarterback, tight end. I will be right back, and we'll get into defense after you finish up offense here, guys.
You said swing tackles, so let's look at the tackles, right?
Yeah. Let's go through there. I mean, the usual, dude, I swear the usual suspects are on this
No
list.
kidding.
Illuminor's been available for how many years? We've wanted him. That's like a Dalton Risner deal there.
Well, he's got a bald head like you, Greg. So
Oh yeah,
go.
let's do it.
Yeah.
It's destiny, Chop.
Yeah, Luminor's there all the time.
We were,
Yeah, go ahead.
we were meeting with the cat yesterday, the big ass tight end. I forget like what school. So, I mean, I think they're thinking about a swing tight end or a swing tackle.
Yeah.
Rob Haviston, that's interesting right there. I know he was with. I know he's up there in age, but I know Zach was in LA coaching when he was there.
Yeah.
That's someone interesting to think of. I don't know if he comes here as a swing tackle though.
Yeah.
And Decker obviously this will not happen unless we cut ties with Orlando. Decker just got released by the Lions also today.
Yeah.
But that one, Trent Brown, didn't he just resign?
I don't know if he just resigned or not.
Let me check. I think he did. Oh shit!
So,
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
yeah, they did. They did just resign.
Yeah.
So he's off the list.
Yeah, he got like what, $7.5 million?
Who's that? Trent Brown?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Taylor Decker, the only way the Bengals would sign him is if they cut ties with Orlando, right? There's no way we get him in the swing tack.
Yeah, I can't see Taylor Decker.
Dude, Trent Brown is straight up like a relieving pitcher that just bounces from team to team. You know what I mean? Like a journeyman. Like he's just gonna continue to just like get paid and do these
But Dale, would this be the year we finally get a Luminor that we've wanted the past 3 or 4 years like Risner?
Hey, I would be all for it because, I mean, he could play right tackle. I think you can kick him in and play at guard.
Hey,
There's
Old
our guy,
friend.
man.
hey.
Look at that big. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not paying $9 million. That's a projection here from
no.
PFF. I don't think he gets that. I think he probably gets like $3 million, And then at that point, I wouldn't be opposed to somebody like that. But
No.
Finish his
I don't
career
think-
here in Cincinnati. People, fans, I think the fans would not be in on that.
Yeah.
no, they would not be
he
happy.
earned
But he
his
was
welcome.
he was serviceable.
Yeah, I agree. But if we brought him in free agency, man, the fans would be like, all in. Oh, yeah, I see now.
Yeah.
Anybody else on down the list, Chop? I
Here.
this is another one. I don't know if anybody stands out to you, Dustin.
Not really, man. I mean, no. It's just I think anything would be like you're either overpaying for a guy or just a guy that just doesn't move the needle.
Oh, there's
I
Fred
mean,
Johnson. Let's take another swing. Super Bowl starting right tackle.
Here's the guy they're going to get, Stone Forsythe. That's the guy they're going to get. What
Stone
position?
foreskin.
But no,
Stone
while
Forsythe.
Paul was on, Joe Mixon just got released, and he asked for his release. He wouldn't come back. Yeah, no, we discussed this. He's not coming back here. Would he probably just go somewhere else for on a 1-year deal?
Home.
Yeah, I think his ass is going home.
He's going home.
He was injured, bro. Like
Yeah.
running backs. I don't know, dude. That might be his career. Might be.
I mean, he's probably going to try to go somewhere if he asked to be released.
Right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Be home working the grill.
some running backs can stick around. I mean, Adrian Peterson. He ended up playing for like
Was that Washington he played for? Yeah.
Yeah, he just like would pop up. It was like
Right.
seeing Jerry Rice. Like, does people remember Jerry Rice played for the Denver Broncos?
No, remember he was on the Seahawks. He didn't play for the Seahawks, but I think he played like one game. Then he's like, I'm done.
He actually.
Well, I
forget
think
his-
we should get into defensive guys, Chop.
Yeah.
So
All right. Who do we want to look at first?
it don't matter. Let's just go corner. Let's just go the way they have it: corner, safety, linebacker, interior, and edge. Let's look at all of them.
right, here we go, man. Corner.
And you can kind of scroll through. Like, I know we have Dax, we have DJ, we brought back Jalen Davis. I
Ooh,
still think
Mikey.
they could use
Mikey.
another guy in that room. Asante Samuel intrigues me. That was on that list.
Yep.
Cheeto, we've kind of mentioned, as a what's the contract? Yeah, 1 year, $1.35 million for Cheeto. If that's what he ends up at, sure. Like, Cheeto, you want to come back here? I know Lou's not here anymore, so maybe that his defensive staff isn't here.
Yeah.
Roger McCreary, he's only
Yes.
26, so that name pops out to me. I liked him during the draft process, and it shows his grade as a 72.1. Kind of
Yeah.
surprised the projection is so
No,
low.
the deal, they said he was small. He shut down. He did grow well against Chase. He did well on tape, but they kept saying, oh, he's too small. I loved him coming out of the draft.
Yeah. So, I mean, that name stands out just going through it. Trevon Diggs, dude, I just feel like he's washed. I don't even think he was ever that good, honestly.
Who was that guy that just got released by the Bills? He's been 8 years with the Bills. The corner.
Taron Johnson is that? I think that was in our chat there. I don't know. Maybe and those are guys that don't count against any comp pick when they get released. So, are the Bengals going to try to hammer guys like that get released?
Yeah.
Newsome, we mentioned the other day, hasn't even turned 26. 2 years, $7.5 million average. I don't even know if he'll get that.
There's CTB.
Yeah. Man, how sad is it that that's a 1 year, $3.75 million deal?
I know.
Big Juice Gang fan, love the family, but man, a guy that's really.
It hurts to be honest, Dale. I really like that guy.
Messed up his career.
Yeah, I mean, had those great
talent's still there though. Talent's still there.
It's there, man.
Man, he looks so stiff though.
You take that 1 year, $3 million.
I think the Bengals are just not.
I think so.
Interested anymore. I think it's one of those you just move on regardless what the price is,
yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah, we like him. He could have been a dude. He came in with just great energy. That sort of thing. It is kind of sad that it tailed off, but man, that's football players can have these 2 year windows where they play really good, and we see it all the time, and they just fall off out of nowhere, and it's just then they're out of the league. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen to him, but it just does happen, and I don't know. You never know. Are these guys banged up and they just can't gain that athleticism back? Who knows?
Yeah, and Cam Curl, as we mentioned, did re-sign with the Rams, so he's off the board. He got 3 years, $36 million, so $12 million average annual value. So I know we're saying, we don't think it's anything crazy, but compared to this PFF projection, that's a pretty hefty difference in 2 years, $8.75 million for Cam Curl, who they have as safety too. Probably tells me the Bengals are completely out on Brian Cook because let's just say it's $12 million average, but it sounds like it's at least a few more million more you're getting per year. Brian Cook might get $15 million per, 3 years, $45 million. I can't see the Bengals in that market. It sounds good. Bring Brian Cook back to Cincinnati. You got another good player here at safety. Do you guys think it's realistic at all that they're in that market? That's probably a pretty decent market for a safety.
I don't know, man.
I think they'll go lower tier here because you look at the draft and you're seeing this deepness of safety that you have broken down for everybody, Dale. So I got a sense it's going to be more of a veteran lower level tier just to have somebody there, and they're just going to go after the draft for a hybrid starter.
I don't know, man. It's just it's hard for me to trust this whole all-in thing. The way they talk makes me think Brian Cook, but in reality, let's see here.
I don't even know if Brian Cook's going to hit the market, bro.
Jonathan
You know what I mean?
You don't think you will?
I don't know. The Chiefs just got rid of McDuffie.
Yeah.
I think signing a safety is a safe lower because they were going to have to pay McDuffie a lot of money, right?
They're so screwed on the cap, though. How do they make that work?
What's that?
I read something they're trying to bring in Kenneth Walker. So if you're trying to bring him in and Brian Cook, and I thought their cap was upside down.
No, they restructured.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, so they freed up some cap space. I just kind of felt like they knew that McDuffie was going to be a lot of money, so they probably want to go volume of players over just one guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll keep scrolling down the list of safeties because we don't think we're playing in that market. Curl's off the board there. Chop. No, you're scrolling too much now. Because safety is one that I think, Bayard, That motherfucker, Kevin Byard, 2 years, $9 million. That's a guy. Hey, he's a ball hawk. He is almost 33. I don't know if the Bengals would be in on that, but hey, if he wanted to come to Cincinnati, we don't talk about him. I think that'd be a great fit if you're talking about improving your locker room, your leadership, and a guy who's still getting it done.
You know, when we look at these defensive players, we need to make sure we're looking at people that are going to work in man coverage, because I think that's what Al's trying to get to, right?
Well, your safeties aren't in man coverage a lot compared to your corners.
Yeah.
But he had 7 interceptions. That was league high 7 interceptions, as it says there in the bio. So how would you guys feel if, like, hey, they went out and got Kevin Byard? And it is, let's just say 2 years, $18 million. That's the projection here.
Man, the age, Dale, I'm sorry. But he's playing a high level, but man, the age just kind of scares me. Screw it. He's playing a high level.
He's got no drop off. Look at that PFF.
No, you're right. No chop. That's what I'm looking at. You're right. Fuck it. What do I know? Fuck it.
Yeah, you know, Greg.
I don't know. I just kind of feel like if we go by historically speaking, like we didn't want to give, I mean, it's different contract prices, but like we didn't want to give Jesse Bates that money. Yeah. What's going to make us like turn around and try to like commit a lot of money when we know that again, we can go shopping for a draft pick that's a rookie contract.
Or Nick Scott, you can get, or if you're in the free agent market, you can get a Nick Scott. I think they should invest here. $8-9 million a year isn't crazy money with the way that contracts have gone up over the league and the way the salary cap's gone up. Peppers, I don't even think it's worth talking about. I don't know why he's so high on this list. Jalen Thompson is the guy Paul mentioned. Honestly, don't know a ton about him. The PFF grades look pretty good. It looks like he's played a lot of football and played over 900 snaps the last 3 years. 5-year starter for the Cardinals, not even 28. Like, Paul thinks there's a lot of fits there for the Bengals. Dustin or Greg or Chop, do you guys have any thoughts on Jalen Thompson?
I love him. I love him. I love
27, but I mean, he did, like, and not too far off from a buyer, but hey, it's intriguing.
I like safeties with range, especially if you're going to pair them with Jordan Battle, and he's got.
He's nothing compared to Stone, right?
No.
Okay.
No, Stone can't cover. He couldn't cover a fat lady inside of a phone booth. So.
Well, that's what he was supposed to be good at. To be fair.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if you go back to Baltimore's tape, and that's another classic example where I don't even know if we used Geno right, and we didn't use Nick Scott right. So, like, some of the blame, like, we hate Geno Stone, but it was like, were we actually using him correctly? Probably not.
I remember talking about Geno Scott before we signed him in free agency, and I was like, I like him. I like the numbers, but I said, I went and I watched, and those interceptions were all just horrible quarterback play. Right. Do you guys remember me saying that?
Yes, I do, Dale. I do remember you saying that.
Like, there was nothing that was like, oh, he's just locking dudes down, making these plays. It's like, no, the ball is overthrown by 10 yards and he's getting interception. So I think he got paid, and they didn't really do their job on what kind of player he was.
Yeah.
Another Cincinnati Bearcat, Greg.
Yeah, Kobe.
Kobe, bro.
Now it says he's just good against the run. Can he cover? Because we need a guy that can cover, right?
I mean, I think he's a pretty good safety overall.
All right.
And 3 years, $10 million, played on a Super Bowl team. They might like that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
This is one that maybe is more realistic than Brian Cook.
All right, give me a Bearcat. I don't care. Hey, he won Best Defensive Player of the Year. You know why he won? Because they never threw the sauce that year. They kept throwing to Kobe, and Kobe had
Kobe.
Reed Blankenship, down year, as you can see by the PFF grades. Like, the PFF grades were terrible. 3 years, $7 million average, but you buy low, 27. Like, his grade, I know his coverage grade specifically was atrocious this past season, but the 3 years prior, he had really good coverage grades. He can tackle. There's a lot to like with it. Yeah, his 29.9 coverage grade ranked last among qualified safeties. So that is like, do you like that? When you're talking to a guy that you want to bring in free agency, I don't know, but it's like, or was that a one-off bad season? So you got to kind of balance those things. And then Hawkins is a guy that I think everybody likes. Yeah. Great season for the Patriots. Probably an ascending player, even though he's 28 and a half years old. So he's going to be 29. Or was he a one-year wonder? with Rabel. Harrison Smith, he'll probably be a Viking if he plays again. Brisker, young guy still from Chicago. See, Brisker's a guy that's like $8 million. Oh, that's that Bengals number. 3 years, $8 million, as Paul talked about. I like Gilman more than Washington, but what are you guys' thoughts on some of the safeties on this list? And Nick Cross, who's only 24. PFF grade's not as good this year as the last 2 years. If he played as well this year as he did last year, this guy is probably the top safety on the board, being only 24 years old.
Nick Ross just fits the Bengals literally, right? Even though he didn't have a good year this year, that I could see the Bengals signing Nick Ross.
You think that's got anything to do with his new defensive coordinator this year?
Possibly.
I don't know, man. He did great for 2 years, and then Lou comes in there. No knock on Lou. I'm just saying it's a different scheme. And
did Lou put too much on his plate?
He's trying to teach him calculus.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Chop. I think that's a great point, honestly. Because we know that Lou, there's some safeties that play well elsewhere that don't play well here.
Maybe Lou loves Cincinnati, and he did us a favor, and he's like, hey, I'm going to knock a few dollars off Nick Cross's price when he hits free agency for you.
Yeah. I mean, Lou is supposed to be the secondary guy, too. That's where his background was from.
Yeah, well.
Oh, it's weird. He might just suck, to be honest. Indiana's Colts could not get a stop the second half of the season. It was horrible.
No, the first half, everybody was like, oh, look at what Cincinnati got rid of Lou, and look at that, and our defense sucks.
Yeah.
But any other thought, like Greg, if you could pick one safety from this entire list, is it Brian Cook? Because the Bearcat, he's just the best player. Or anyone besides Brian Cook? Geno Stone, Nick Scott. Look at that.
Come on, man. Come on. No, maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a Bearcats fan. I like Cook, but man, looking at if we're talking, so the cost, no, I don't know, Dale. You got me kind of sold on the Chicago guy a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, but then again, screw it, man. Let's take a swing at Kobe. Let's go with Kobe.
I think after talking about it, I would take Nick Cross, man, and take a flyer on that 1 year just because he had new defensive coordinator, new scheme coming in, and I'd look at him like he was a free agent coming out of the last 2 years.
If he doesn't get $12 million a year, like the projection there, if he gets down to that $8 million, if he wants to do a 2-year, $16 million deal, which is similar to Geno Stone, then I would be okay with taking a Nick Cross who's 24. I think you might get your better value where the Bengals got worse value at that same kind of price.
But Dale, going back, Cook is my first choice, but I don't think it's going to happen. But Kobe's my second choice.
I like Johnson. Mark me down for him, dude.
Yeah. Or Thompson, Jalen Thompson.
Oh, yeah. I think I do like Gilman, too. I just don't know his fit. Like, he came to the Ravens, and he made a hell of an impact. But
I don't like that whole Ravens free agent safety thing. I got burned.
No, same here.
We all did. Shop.
Yeah. Guys, I know this seems all over the place if you're watching, but we're trying to get through as much as possible. We're already an hour in. Paul was obviously, if you missed Paul Dehner, he gave us 30 minutes. That was fantastic. Go back. Watch the first 30 minutes if you watch nothing else, if you're tuning in late.
And I got work, and I'm running the PFF scroll.
All right. So, Chop, what you got? 5-10 minutes?
Yep. 10.
All right. So, linebackers. Let's just get right into it.
Not Devin Lloyd, man. Paul Dehner Jr. is
Paul said no.
Wait. Another safety just got released. Bill's releasing Taylor Rapp, who's only 24 years old. Who started 24 games for Buffalo.
Yeah, well, we could have brought him in multiple times. He's not done anything.
Yeah.
But you got Lloyd, you got Bush, but Lloyd at 16, I can't see the Bengals in that market.
Right.
At linebacker. Bush at 12, I don't even see him in that market.
No.
Dean at almost 14, and then Chanel, they have it $6 million, and that's the one that Paul said, and I think that's the one we've all said multiple times.
I'll take him. Give me Leo.
Young, talented, hasn't played a ton of snaps compared to these other linebackers. Like, you look at the snap count, they're playing him 400, 500 snaps. You look right below that, Bobby Wagner's a 1,200 almost snap guy per year.
Yeah.
So limited snaps, but does he hold up if he plays double the snaps, or is he a specialized role guy? I don't really give a shit. He's 25. He's athletic. He can rush the passer from his days at Wisconsin. That's a guy that I would be all in on, and I would give him more than the $6 million a year. If you could get Chanel at $10 million a year for 2 years, 2 years, $20 million, the way the cap goes up, I would love that. How about you?
Yeah, give me Leo, man. I like Leo.
I do too. I like him. I like the leadership. He crosses all the boxes.
Yeah. Like what
He
Paul
really
said,
does.
Dale, they were literally just describing Leo Chanel. Literally.
And he can bring the blitz. He can bring it, from that, because he did that a lot at Wisconsin. He's done it in the NFL. So I think he'd be a great pick. Then you get down to some of the veteran guys like Bobby Wagner, Demario Davis are the next two. If you don't get Chanel, I would go all in on him personally at linebacker.
Yeah.
Bringing in one. That'd be my guy. Now you get into the old heads. Bobby Wagner, not good in coverage anymore, but plays a ton of snaps. Leader, has been there, done that, played in 1 Super Bowls. He's almost 36. Still a quality run defender, an early down guy, a leadership guy. Would help the team overall. 1 year, $8.5 million. Cool. Demario Davis has the connection with the linebacker coach who came from the Saints. He is 37, so he's even older. But you look, 81.4 PFF grade, 73.2 last year, and 89.6 the year before. It doesn't seem like he is falling off. Demario Davis would probably be my second target after Chanel. Yeah. Chanel, how about you guys?
I would have went Bobby Wagner for a year also, just to come in with that veteran presence to kind of like get our guys in shape.
I just all I think of when I do see Demario Davis and Bobby Wagner is all I can think of is tight ends and them just getting abused. You know what I mean? Like, we already have problems. Like, when those guys are on the field, these offensive coordinators are going to try to figure out a way to get those guys isolated. So,
Hey,
I don't know.
Scroll down after Demario Davis. Is that Fabio right there?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Alex Anzalone, as a Buckeye fan, I think he went to Florida, but he was a Buckeye commit for a while. Like, he was a big-time recruit. He's been pretty good, but almost 32. Been pretty good in Detroit specifically. I don't know. Maybe Caden Ellis, also a guy that's turning 31, but he makes sense. He's had a good career, and honestly, there's a bunch. This is the brother, I believe, of Jonah Ellis, Greg, that I was so high on, that edge rusher ended up in Denver a couple years ago. And then blood drop, Jermaine Pratt. You guys want him back?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, bring him. But just bring back our 2021 defense.
Let's just do
Yeah.
it.
Wilson, Ogunjobi out there. Bring back Von Bell. Like, just run it back with everybody.
Bring the band back together.
That's what people always want to do, is bring on these old heads back all the time.
As Chop scrolls through the linebackers, to me, if you're not getting one of those upper tier guys, are you really improving too much on a second-year Barrett Carter or what you could get in the draft? Probably not. So to me, you have to get one of the top 5 to 8 guys on that list.
Yeah.
That included like Davis and those guys, I believe.
I do think like they'll go veteran here, but not like a veteran that can still play and move. That's just kind of like where I'm thinking to pair up. Like somebody like a Levante David is amazing and stuff like that. I love him. But like some of these older guys, it's like, well, like, how exposed is your defense on the plays that they're in? Can they hold up enough? Can they cover enough ground? So I think there's like an in between, right? And that's where I think Chanel is probably like crosses those boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll move on, Chop, to defensive tackle.
What is you guys' overall thought on the free agent linebacker market? I mean, obviously there's some old dudes that have been around for a while. Do you think there are solutions there outside of Chanel?
I mean, Davis, that's the one that I go back to because the Saints connection, and I know 37, 38, but it's like, hey, if you can still play, you can still play. And if you can get him on a 1 year, you minimalize your risk.
Yeah.
So it's like if the wheels do fall off, okay, fine. We took the shot. We gave him 9 million this season, hoping. And at worst, he's still a veteran leader that's been around for a long time.
Yeah. That's fair. But what they tried with Orenberg this past year, and it just didn't quite pan out. Maybe from like a leadership standpoint, or play. So yeah, I think they definitely go that route though.
And then D tackles. I'm surprised they have Reeder and Campbell above John Franklin Myers specifically, but you're talking a 32-year-old and almost a 40-year-old. But hey, I'd be all in on Campbell because that guy is still fantastic. Reeder,
please.
If the price is right, Reeder and Slayton would be a good nose tackle combination. And we know he's a leader. So both of those guys would bring leadership from the D tackle position. And then Onyemata, almost 34. I mean, looks like the PFF numbers are good. 1 year, $3.5 million. I don't know too much about him, to be honest. Daquan Jones, similar. John Franklin Myers at 59 is kind of criminal after his 7.5 sack season, but he's 29, going to be turning 30 during the season. Good player. Like, that'd be the guy. And Paul said it too. The guy you kind of push your chips in on would be a Franklin Myers. But thoughts on these D tackles? Chop, you can continue scrolling down if anybody jumps out.
My thing, I think that a lot of Cincinnati fans are kind of hoping to get DJ Reeder back, but like DJ Reeder, for one thing, was a Lou Anarumo guy. He wasn't a Al Golden guy. And man, the last 2 years up in Detroit, he really fell off. So I'm not sure how in I am on DJ Reeder.
I'll have you go back up just a little bit above Harris. Those two right there.
There you go.
Wilkins and Onwuzurike. Onwuzurike is the guy I wanted last year, but he went back to the Lions, but he had a torn ACL. So it's saying 1 year, $2 million. I would take that swing on it because you look at the 24 numbers, you look at the 23 numbers, and the guy that always has produced, and he's still 28. Mm-hmm. Wilkins, I know he's 30. Whatever he's doing in the shower with guys is weird. But 1 year, $3 million, take a swing, see if there's anything still in that tank. I would consider both of those guys on cheap deals.
I agree.
Yeah. I'd probably Levi, because I don't know what's going on with Wilkins. Like, he got nothing last year.
Yeah.
I know he's nursing that injury. I think, like, the Lions are kind of doing a little bit of a purging. So I do think, like, there's going to be ability to get him at a really good, like, a decent price, too. So, yeah.
Scroll back up.
Hold on, we got Larry Ogunjobi. He's a free agent now. We can get him. And that's what we've been missing this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Missed 6 games last year with a suspension to start the season, and then didn't have a good year when he came back, and he's turning 32. But go back up. I know Greg wants to talk about Logan Hall specifically.
Liked him coming out of the draft. I mean, he was a bit of a project. I know his name's been tossed around here and there. I know his PFF has slowly gotten better over the years. I mean, look at him. He's only 25, about turned 26 years old. I mean, why not, right? I mean, Dale, I was high on him coming in the draft. I know he was a bit of a project, whether he was inside or out, playing inside or outside, but he kind of gives you that hybrid role, right?
Yeah, I like that, and that's what we talked about, the Draymond Jones of the world, some of these other guys that can play inside. This guy's like 6'6", 280, if I'm not wrong. So, big dude.
He did visit the Bengals. He did visit the Bengals, too.
And like a second-round draft pick. So, yeah, just turning 26. It doesn't have a contract projection here from PFF, but let's just say it's in the same range as some of these other guys, $2 to $5 million. Sure.
Right.
Like, I would take that swing. I think he could and maybe he hits and you get a guy that's like, all right, we got to steal.
Yes.
Man, how is he already a free agent? I feel like that was just yesterday's draft.
Right, exactly.
We're getting old as fuck.
That's facts. All right, Chop, we'll go to Edge and then we'll end this.
Defensive tackle sucks, man. We're going to have to get, you know what I mean? It's John Franklin or die. Or maybe
Trey Henderson would look good in stripes. No.
Yeah, he would. I'd like to get him on this team.
Bro, he's not gonna. He's gonna look shitty in Tampa colors, bro. That doesn't fit Trey well.
Well, no, him or
his projected contract's gonna be 1 year, 21.
No, he's gonna get 2 to 3 years, and he's gonna get at least 25 to 30 million per. It's just it's the free agent market, you know.
Here's the thing: does he get all that money guaranteed.
That's what he wants.
I know. Like
No, he'll get a year guaranteed or whatever. Something that looks good,
Yeah.
you know.
They're not
like
gonna give
fully
all
guaranteed first year or second year.
Yeah.
partial.
After this year and the injury, I doubt he gets a fully guaranteed contract. But
I
who
bet-
knows?
I could see because you see this with veterans all the time. I mean, look at DJ Moore, and he's even younger now, albeit it's a receiver. But you get these big initial contracts, and then they get traded away. So I don't know. I'm hoping he's ready for relocation after 1 year because I could see a team doing okay, 3 years, a bunch up front guaranteed, but then you're probably going to be on the chop, the trade block the following year,
I don't see Oway. I don't see us being in that market. Jalen Phillips, I don't know. I mean, 15 million's not crazy. I think maybe the Bengals could be in that Phillips Mafe market. It wouldn't be shocking because they're still young guys. You feel like you're betting on some upside there. Yeah. And then Bosa, I know he's turning 31, but if the price is right, you got the Ohio State connection. Khalil Mack dream is dead, according to Paul Dehner that Greg had. He shut that shit down immediately.
Dude, what? Why did that become a thing, bro? Why are we going to move off of an older defensive end to only sign up?
Oh, it's just Greg. Greg likes names. That's what Greg does. Yeah. Khalil Mack was never in my picture. I love you, Greg.
But Dale.
He was on some Twitter shit too, though. He was on
Clowney, 33. I mean, he still plays well when he plays. Just don't see it, especially at 10 million. Now, give me Draymond Jones. 2 years, 10 million projected contract. 2 years, 20 million for Jones. Inside, outside versatility. So I can kick him inside. So I can help two needs at once. Paul Dehner was very high on this, and I'm with him. Draymond Jones makes a ton of sense at 29 years old.
Cardinals just released a DT. Dalvin Tomlinson saves them $16 million over cap. I mean, does that intrigue you at all?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, Tomlinson's still a decent guy. I don't think he had a great season, but he's had some good seasons. Ebekide's another guy that Paul mentioned, 27 years old. Kind of got pushed out there. 2 years, $8 million average. Maybe Cam Jordan.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Arnold. Oh, you're a big Arnold fan, aren't you? Aren't you, Dustin?
Yeah, I am.
Now, Cameron Jordan. If Trey was still here, then because they're friends. But now Trey said, "Don't go to the Bengals." He probably tells Cameron Jordan.
Well, 37 years old. I'm good.
Well, Dale, come on, man. Let's ignore the age thing. He's still playing at a high level. Come on. Never mind.
Yeah, Chason actually intriguing. Had a great season. I can't see the Patriots letting him leave, but 26 years old. Kwity Paye, another guy. 27. You take that swing on. There's still something there. I think Fowler, probably not. Maybe 2 years ago. Barnett, no, I can't see it anymore. Greg, get a hard on for Von Miller, even though he's 37 because he loves big names. Malcolm Kuntz dealt with some injuries, but a guy that's still 28. If you get the 2023 Malcolm Kuntz, you get a hell of a player, but that's a lot to ask for in 2026.
Damn, Arden Key's still out there.
Yeah. Going to turn 30. Keep scrolling. There's some guys at the top. You start getting down here, there's just not a lot. Like Van Noy will probably end up back in Baltimore for cheap somehow and still produce at 35.
I will say Arden Key still had 4 sacks last year. So, a little older, but he still got something there. 29, not terrible, but yeah.
I was surprised that Paul did not think at all Joseph Osai would be back.
Especially if for some reason it's anywhere near this PFF suggestion of 1 year, $7 million.
That's pretty much what they did last year. If that's the market, I would love to have a side back.
Hell yeah. Give me 2 years at $7 million.
But you got to think Mulligetta. He's probably I want to drop you if you don't get me a 3-year deal where he's going to get 3 years, $45 million from somebody. And it's going to be what the hell? Because he's still so young. And he probably could have got that last year. Chose to remain here. Probably not doing it again, unfortunately.
Right.
All right, guys. We're an hour and 15 in. Chop's got to go to work. So we will end this one. I will be back on with Sports with Strawberry Ice and AC at 5:30. So appreciate everybody that tuned in. Appreciate Paul Dehner Jr.'s time and the stuff he's helping out with Project Game Day. Get your tickets for the Project Game Day draft event, by the way. Still out there. Still plenty of tickets. Get them, man. DJ Turner's going to be there. He might sign an extension live.
Yeah.
It's a good possibility. Or it's a
Joe
possibility.
Burrow could show up. You never know.
You never know.
But
Probably
appreciate
so.
y'all for tuning in. Any parting words of wisdom, Greg?